Hello, I'm Stan West from D&J Nursery. We are located on Highway 231 South, 5 miles below Dothan, Alabama. I, along with my wife and daughter Emily, run D&J Nursery. We offer a full line of plants, fertilizers, compost, and irrigation supplies. Today, I want to talk to you about a couple of different topics. One is like a garden soil or a compost soil. Compost needs to be added to certain garden areas to help build organic matter. Today, we're using a compost of aged cow manure. This material is about 5 years old and has literally just turned into black dirt. We take the cow manure and we mix it with pine bark. This is some aging pine bark that we get, and we mix that, the cow manure, together. We also use some pine wood shavings, such as this, to mix in there to help lighten the soil up a little bit, to help with drainage. We've just started experimenting by adding a little bit of red field sand, and that tends to help get it a little bit more, kind of a little bit more sandier material, a little bit sandier feel. This is our mixed compost. And this is what we sell people to put in gardens and raised beds to plant in. You can plant plants directly into this product. You can plant seeds into it, and it works good. It's not too rich or too hot that it would burn something, but it has enough organic matter to help build the microbes in the soil and help the plants to grow and hold moisture and fertilizer. We recommend adding the compost soil usually at least once a year, tilling it into the soil. It works good if you get it ahead of time in your garden and go ahead and work it in so that it can be working and getting mixed in with the soil that you have. We used to use a product called mushroom compost. Well, mushroom compost around this area has kind of gotten hard to get hold of. The mushroom company went out of business, and so we've had to go back to relying on just the cow manure and pine bark mixture that we make. If you have any questions about compost or adding some type of garden soil or something, you can come see us at D&J Nursery. Now I want to talk to you about some irrigation. We're a drip irrigation dealer. We sell all types of drip irrigation. And today I've got a little demonstration plot here. I put some compost here, kind of like a raised bed or a garden. I planted some peppers in it. And so what we want to do is we want to put drip irrigation on this bed, and I'll show you how simple this is. So what we would do is we'll take drip tape. I want you to look at this real close. This has a dripper made inside of it, right here where my finger is. It's not just a hole. It's a dripper that's made inside of this tape. And we're going to take this tape and we're going to stretch it out down this row of peppers. Lay it down like that. And since we got 2 rows, we could actually, we're going to hook them together, but we could have 20 rows out here, according to how long they are. Now, let me get it turned over here. All right, so we're going to take our tape. We'll cut it right there. We'll take this other piece, we're going to lay it down beside these plants. Now, it's very critical that we use a filter and a pressure regulator on drip tape. This is a filter. This is a screen type filter, and that's just to keep them drippers clean. So we always want to keep a filter hooked on our line. This is a washable filter, can be washed and even replaced if need to, but normally if you just wash them, that's good enough. And so what we would do is take the filter and pressure regulator. We call this a filter assembly. And we're going to hook this to a piece of 3/4 polytubing. This is our header pipe. This is going to go across the end of our rose. And so we're going to put that over that fitting. Take that nut, screw it over to lock it on there. Oh, let's see, I got a punch in my pocket somewhere. There it is. We're going to punch us a hole in this pipe. By the way, this is the wrong size punch. I run out of the other ones. There we go. This is a cutoff valve. Hold on just a minute. There we go. Okay, we got it inserted. We'll take this little nut that's on this valve and we're going to tighten that down. That's going to help seal it on that piece of polytubing. There we go. We're going to take our tape, put it over this fitting. That's going to lock on there. We're going to come down to our next row. We're going to insert another valve. Always keep up with your punches. People lose these real quick, so always keep up with them. Put that other valve in there, like so. We're going to tighten that up. Slide the drip tape over that. Hold on. Get that fixed right there. We'll cut these valves off for a second. Like that. Okay. On this end of our header pipe, we're going to just take a 1.25 PVC ring, slide it over, kink that pipe. That's going to seal that up. Real simple, inexpensive. Oh, all right. Now, on this end, we're going to take this tape and we're going to cut a piece off about 1 inch long. We're going to open it up like so. And since I don't have but 2 hands, I do that to hold it. We're going to roll this tape back 3 times. 3 times we're going to roll this tape back about 1/4 inch per turn. Slide that over, and that has stopped that up. All right, we're going to come down and do this one. Move that. Cut a piece of tape. Oops. Fluff that out. All right, let's see here. Got that over that. All right, we're gonna lay a little rock right there to hold that down so we get our header pipe straightened out. Normally, you're going to be doing a lot longer rows than this. You can run drip tape up to about 300 feet and still have it properly water like it's supposed to. Okay, so we got our drip tape hooked up, we got our header pipe hooked up. it there. And we're gonna hook it to water. It's very important to keep that filter on there because this hose was laying on the ground, and if it had been laying here for days or quite a while, bugs and dirt, everything else could have went up in here, and that'll stop that drip tape up. We'll screw that onto that. We're going to open that water up. Hopefully we won't have any leaks. Everything's good. We'll open our tape up. Oops. Got a little leak on this one. I didn't get the tape up on there far enough. So let's see if we can do something about that. All right. Get up on that. See if that'll work now. And it's got a little leak, but anyway, I need to cut that piece of tape. Look at the water dripping right here with my finger. We're going to run this long enough to create a wetted band along this row of peppers. You see the water dripping there? You got that, Emily? Mm-hmm. So imagine this being a garden that had 30 rows on it, and them 30 rows were 50, 60 feet long. That's about 15 to 800 foot of this drip tape on the ground. Normally you can water up to about 2,000 foot of tape off of a simple water faucet, and it's going to put the same amount of water at one end as it does the other. Back up, buddy. Anyway, what you got there? Some compost? All right. And so that's the way we want to water our garden. So we could have, like I say, as many rows as we want along this garden. They could be 100 feet long, 200 feet long, whatever they need to be. Now, if it gets to being over 2,000 foot of tape, we may have to cut some of these valves off and water some rows today and some rows tomorrow. Normally you'll run drip irrigation like this probably somewhere between 6 to 8 hours. A lot of times I'll tell people to cut it on at night, let it run all night, and cut it off the next morning. That gives them a good watering. That'll usually hold that plant for 3 or 4 days before you have to water some more. You can also do this right over seed or where you've planted seed to keep that ground moist. There's a couple of other options, several other options on watering. Oh. Cut these off. I better cut this one off too or I'm gonna get wet. Well, you just come up. These are a form of a spray stake. And let's say that you wasn't using the drip tape and you wanted to water a different form or fashion. You can come in, punch these holes, get wet like that. Okay. I'm gonna put that one right there. That one's called a shrubler. I'll show you how it works in just a second. Come on, get in there. All right, and this is called a Spectrum. All right, so let's cut our water back on. Okay, this is a shrubler. These can go in pots or in the ground. If they're not high enough, take you something like a piece of 1/2-inch PVC pipe and put it in the ground and stick that down in it to get it up. What's so good about these type spray stakes is they're adjustable. I can turn that down where it's putting out a smaller area, or I can open it up where it puts out more. It's not putting out near as far because I got a 15-pound regulator on that, and I'm supposed to have something bigger. All right, let's look at this Spectrum right here. Okay, look at her. It's wetting me all the way over here. As I say, I don't want it that big. I turn it down. I'm only doing to here. I do just a little bit, kind of like a bubbler. And I can open it up, and it'll throw. It's throwing out to my hand here. So, we've talked about compost. There's several different types of materials that you can make your own compost with, whether it be the cow manure, take old grass clippings, old leaves, let them pile up. Any type of soft wood like pine or cedar or cypress is okay. It's not recommended to use hardwood material unless it's been piled up and rotted for a pretty good while. But anyway, on the compost, you probably need to add fertilizer to help the plants to grow. And on the drip irrigation, this, like I say, this is just one form that we showed you, or two forms that you can water a garden, water your plants. If you want to water pots, whatever you want to do, you can. We pretty much got an application to fit your needs. If you would like to, give us a call at D&J Nursery. Our telephone number is 334-677-3866, or you can email us at stan@djnursery.com. Thank you very much.